a private in super class, you cannot access that variable or method in subclass. Compiler throw error. So non-private members are called visible members. So this is the basic idea. And next, what is basics means what? What is inheritance? Why inheritance? When we should develop inheritance? How to develop inheritance? If I develop inheritance for fun, what is the problem? If you don't develop inheritance between the same type of objects, what is the problem? We have discussed. Now, we are moving to the next topic. Inheritance topic completed. Okay, if you develop program as if you develop a program with inheritance, tell me now, who is reading that program? Compiler. Who is reading that program? JVM. So compiler and JVM activities, when we are compiling and executing a class with inheritance, we are learning. Are you catching my point? So as a developer, when to develop inheritance, how to develop inheritance, if you develop inheritance problem, if you don't develop inheritance problem, you understood. Now in today class, we are trying to understand, if I develop a class with inheritance, what is the flow of execution? What compiler do? What JVM do? Nothing but static members, non-static members, execution flow, and test cases we are trying to understand. And also we try to understand subclass object structure. Whenever you create subclass object, what is the structure of that object? I'm going to teach you, right? And tell me, if you create a class, either super class or subclass, if you create, okay, if you create a class, either super class or subclass, if you create, then tell me what happened. Now the super class subclass will be will contain static members, will contain non-static members, right? A class is nothing but static non-static members combination. In super class also static non-static members are there, subclass also static non-static members are there. Compiler, what it will do? Compiler will verify the syntax, JVM will execute those members. First let us understand compiler activity. What compiler do? Tell me, I created a class a.java file, okay, with static variable, non-static variable, static method, okay, non-static method, static block, non-static block, constructor, main method, static method, non-static method, okay, a lot of things I have created. Okay, fine. Then here in the same, I created a class B, okay, class B, which is extending from class A. And then I created one static variable here, and then one static block, okay, main method, and then non-static method, non-static method. Okay, I have created everything. I created a program like this. Static, non-static members in super class and subclass I have created. Then now, if I compile class B, I'm not compiling class A, okay? I'm not compiling class A, just to develop the class A .java file save. Then develop class B, subclass I develop. Then I am compiling class B, subclass I compiled. Then tell me, is a super class also compiled? We learn auto compilation. Do you remember? We learn auto compilation. When we access one class from another class, whenever a compiler software come across that class name, compiler software searching for the Java file and automatically compile. I told you na. So tell me, if I compile a subclass, is a super class also compiled or not? Yes. Let me try to show you. Control 1, compile. Compile and then go and check. Look at there, a.class or b.class files are created. When I compile subclass, super class is also automatically compiled. A .class file is created separately, na? .class file created separately, okay? All the members of class A will store in a.class file. All members of class B stored in b.class file. Next, when you run class B, what happened? Tell me. When you run Java B, okay? When I run Java B, what happened? Class B is loaded into JVM now. Here JVM is created, right? Here JVM is created, right? Inside JVM, what happened now? Class B is loaded, and class B is loaded. Java.lang.class instance is created. Okay, B class and its static members, non-static members, static block, non-static block, constructor, everything is stored here. When you run Java B, only class B loaded. JVM software, class loader subsystem searching for class B, found .class file. Inside .class file, this class B is extending from class A. Tell me, wherever class B is going, class A also should go, na? because class B is using the members of class A. Class B must obtain the type of A. Class B must obtain the members of class A. So wherever class B, class A also must be available. Then based on this point, can you please think and tell me, only class B loaded? No, class A is also loaded. Separate java.lang.class instance is created. Class A static variable, static block, static method, main method, non-static variable, non-static block, constructor, non-static method, everything stored separately. B class separately loaded with all its members, and class B is linking to class A, because class B subclass of class A, internal linking will be done. So what the question? If you compile subclass, superclass is also compiled. If you load subclass, superclass is also loaded. Then tell me next. Whenever a class is loaded, static members must be executed. Na? Static variable, static block, okay, must be executed. Tell me now, static variable, static block executed only from class B or only from class A, from both class A, class B? Because two classes loaded, both members static variable, static block should execute. Then now first question, if I compile subclass, superclass compiled, yes. Next, second, if you load subclass, is superclass loaded? Yes. Then third step, static variable, static blocks of executed from both superclass and subclass. Fourth point, tell me, in heap area I have created class B object. When I create a class B object, is a class A object also created? When compile subclass, superclass also compile separate dot class file created. When I load subclass, superclass also loaded, separate java.lang class instance is created. Okay, then tell me, when you create subclass object, is a superclass object also created? That means a separate circle created with reference 2020. This is a 1010, that is 2020. Separate created? No. Okay, na separate object is not created. When you create subclass object, superclass object is not created. Rather, superclass members memory allocated in subclass object. So subclass superclass members memory allocated here. Okay, and subclass members memory allocated here. Everybody got clarity? Yeah? So both together, subclass members memory plus superclass members memory, both together, what we call B class object. So what is the important point? When we compile subclass, superclass is also compile separate dot class file created. When we load subclass, superclass is also loaded, separate java.lang class instance created. From both superclass and subclass, static variable, static blocks are executed. Main method is executed only from subclass, because which class you are running? Class B. JVM will execute main method from which class? Current executing class. What is the current executing class? B class. So main method executed only from B class. Static variable, static blocks are executed from both superclass and subclass, but main method executed only from subclass. Next, when we create subclass object, superclass object is not created. Superclass members memory allocated in subclass, and then non-static variable, non-static block, constructor. Again, non-static variable, non-static block, constructor are executed from both superclass and subclass. So these are the totally 4 points. All you understand? And next, fifth point. When I invoke any method by using subclass reference, okay, when I invoke a method by using subclass reference, I'm invoking method by using subclass reference, then the method executed from which class? You invoke by using which reference? Subclass. Then JVM, compiler and JVM first searching for that method within subclass. If not available, then it will go to superclass. If the method is available in both superclass and subclass, method executed only from subclass, it will not execute from superclass. Very important point. Static variable, static block, non-static variable, non-static block, constructor. These five members are executed from both superclass and subclass. Main method and normal methods are executed either from subclass or from superclass, but not from both the classes. Hope everyone understand. Please write down these notes. Take heading compiler and JVM activities with inheritance. Compiler and JVM activities with inheritance. Already initialized. Now example class static variable initialized with given value, and then static block is executed. Then sample class static variable initialized with the default value, then static block is executed. And finally main method will run. Are you following my point? This is a single class. What is the order of execution of single class? When I run Java example, control come to example class, static variable top to bottom, default values, then initialized values, then static block main method. If I create class like this, Java example, first searching for static variable, top to bottom searching static variable, and then default values created. Then control come to example class, a equal to 10, a variable replaced with 0. Next step is b equal to 20 or static block. Any of you remember? Try to recollect. What is the step number 4? Step number 4, static block, not static variable. Static block executed, then main method, static variable. Static variable, not main method. Then static block executed. Okay, static variable initialization and static block executed in the order that defined from top to bottom. Now, if I take big program, I hope you remember. A variable memory created with 0, B variable memory created 0, C variable memory created with 0. Then again top to bottom static variable initialization. Static blocks are executed in the order they defined from top to bottom. Then finally main method executed. Same story is applicable for static members execution with inheritance. When you run Java B, then B class extending from A, the first point is A class open point. So now first when you run Java B, control come to class B extends A, then class B extends A, control come to here. First class is static variable memory created. Okay, static variable memory created here, and then B class static variable memory created with the default values top to bottom. Then control again go to class A, top to bottom static variable initialized, static block executed, then static variable initialized, static block executed, and main method executed. In main method we are accessing SOP and A variable value, searching in the class B, not available. Searching in class A, available, reading and displaying. Then B variable searching in class B, available, reading and displaying. Understand? This is static members execution flow. Okay, right now. Static members execution flow with inheritance. Completed? Shall I go next point? Yeah, write down this program. Yeah, write down this program. Completed? Now let's start working. Apply this point here. First, static variables memory allocated with the default values from root superclass to current subclass. Root superclass A to current subclass B. Right? A equal to 0, A memory 0, B memory 0. Next up is what? Static variable initialization and static block logic executed from root superclass to current subclass in the order they defined. Now, A equal to M1, control is going to M1 method. The points which you can test by your own, don't ask me, okay? Confirmation questions don't ask at this stage, okay? If this topic is a new to you, then only ask. Is it clear? Don't ask confirmation questions. It irritates me like anything. If I scold, you will cry. Okay? And before asking question, 2 to 3 times check yourself. Is it really required to ask? Am I at this beginning stage to ask this type of questions? Check once, okay? Before asking question, 1 second you question yourself. Is it required to ask? Can I solve by myself? Okay, na? And this question is a useful question for others, or is a stupid question, brainless question? How can you have two A classes in a single folder, useless fellow? Huh? In a single folder, how 2 A classes can be available? Are you in a drunk mode? Yesterday drink, not at, hangover not completed. Still you are in hangover. Useless fellow. Is it a first class? Hello World program completed? Try to show some maturity now onwards. Before asking questions, show some maturity. Try to visualize what question you are asking. Visualize the code. Array, you are almost reaching to the interview position. Still you are asking this type of stupid questions, and how irritates me. Anjali, when method is executed? Method executed when you call. Where you are calling method? You are calling method where? Before main method, after main method, in main method. Don't you check yourself? Try to think, buddy. People are behaving like, this is just a hello world program completed like. What the use of teaching this much depth? When M1 method executed? After main method. Anjali, answer. Asking questions and sitting silently. Huh? You call M1 method with A variable assignment. Main method executed first, A variable initialization first executed. A variable initialization first executed. Then M1 method memory executed where? Here. Before main method only. This type of question should not ask at this stage here. It irritates the faculty because I given you complete depth knowledge of execution flow, everything, right? People think, okay, why I'm getting angry on you, why I'm scolding you. Try to think. It hurts me like anything. It hurts me like anything. It's a, I'm getting a feeling that why I'm wasting this 3 months or 4 months time for you. Why I'm wasting my money, why I'm losing my money. Next, what is executed after A equal to M1 method? Static variable, static blocks are executed in the order they define. Then control go to B class, subclass. B equal to M2, M2 method executed, and then B class static variable. Are you writing a execution flow along with me? Write down step numbers. Write notes along with me. Then subclass static block, main method executed. A variable, B variable memory, right? And step numbers write down. Please try to change your attitude, buddy. If your people are still thinking like a kids, like as a first program to completed, like, what are you doing? Why you are not preparing properly? Why you are not learning properly? Why you people paid fees and why you are not practicing? I don't know. Completed? Now let us try to see JVM architecture of inheritance flow of execution. When I run Java, here B, right? You write B, not sample. Java B, first JVM is created with method area, heap area, Java stacks array, main thread. Then inside method area, who is the superclass of sample? Example. Example superclass. Here A class, B class you write na. B superclass is A. A superclass. Every class is subclass of java.lang.object class. When I run Java A, Java B, sorry. When I run Java B, main method area first B class, A class is loaded. And then object class is loaded. Then A class is loaded. And then B class is loaded. You take them as A and B, okay? And they are linking. Right? Right, JVM architecture, Java B, then JVM box you write, don't close right side. Don't close right side and don't close it down. Method area, object class, example class, sample class. Completed? Then now tell me memory allocation should be start from where? Superclass to subclass. A variable memory created, B variable memory created. 0, 0. In Java stacks area, M1 method executed. First exam, M1 method na called. A equal to M1. M1 method executed. Anjali? Look at that M1 method executed. Yeah, all the people save this link. Tomorrow class will be at 8 a.m. This link is every Sunday. This link only will be used. Save it. Every Sunday we'll have class with this link only. Understand? Save it. No password. Example.mn. Yeah, Geeta, try to wake up one day, no problem. Okay, try to sleep early and wake up that time. Try to adjust. Okay, so I cannot record for that. I cannot share recordings. Only one Sunday na. Saturday early morning, I mean little early you sleep. You are coming by 9 o'clock. I'm starting 1 hour before only na. 2 o'clock, right? Your time 1 hour before only I'm starting, right? Daily you are coming 9 o'clock na. So 8 only class. 8 to 8 to 1 p.m. Topic garbage collection. It may be 1 p.m. or maybe 11 p.m. Okay, 11 a.m. Maximum time I'm telling 1 p.m. 8 I will start and until completed I will take. It may be take 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours. I too don't know. So that's I'm taking full time, 8 to 1 p.m. Example.m1. It's initialized and destroyed. Then example static block executed, destroyed. Then sample class M2, b variable initialize 0 replace with 20, then destroyed. Static block destroyed. Then main method. Main method reading a value, b value, displaying on console. So main method destroyed, stack frame thread is destroyed, and thread is JVM shut down. If you have another class during that time, you can go. Okay, every Sunday we will have a class. If you don't have any class, come to my class. If you have another class, you can go to that class. They're completed. Yeah, this is the story about static members execution flow. Hope all you people understand. So you try to do experiment, moving the variable static block, adding multiple static variable static block. Okay, that's your headache. Okay, you try to do experiment by your own. Okay, given you concept and try to do more experiment by your own. Then come to non-static members execution flow. Okay, non-static members execution flow. Do you remember when non-static members executed? When object is created. Here output will be coming only main method, non-static members not executed. When object is created, this is the object creation statement. No, it is just a variable. Now object creation statement new a. When you create object, what happened? New keyword, create an empty instance, will go to a class, top to bottom searching for non-static variables, provide the memory with the default value, and then new keyword calling constructor, control will go to constructor, then constructor will go, constructor first statement is super parenthesis, next statement is non-static variable initialization, next statement is non-static block, and then final statement is constructor logic. This is the order of execution, right? Now if you create a subclass object, story is a little different. If you create subclass object, story is different. It will calculate that d1 equal new d, class A, class B extends C, class C extends B, class D extends C. Then now d variable created with all 5 classes memory. New keyword will go to class D. It extends from C. Then C class circle created. Extends from B, B class circle created. Extends from A class circle created. Extends from object, object class circle. Object class A, object class A class, B class, C class, D class. All these classes memory region is called D object. Okay, na? Then now tell me. Now currently new keyword is available where? In the object class. New keyword with the help of D class constructor come to D class. It's keep moving upward, 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 upward. Now it is available in object class. Now from object class to down, it started creating memory for non-static variables. In object class, non-static variable available, nothing available. Come to A class. In A class, non-static variable A available, assume non-static variable A available. It allocate memory for non-static variable with the default value. Then come to B class, C class, D class, and all 4 variables memory allocated in their memory respective memory regions with assigned value or default value. Default value. Already catching my point? Tell me, when we create subclass object, what are the steps happening? First, new keyword will create D class subclass object with its own class members plus its parent class members memory region separately. And then it allocates memory for non-static variables from root superclass to current subclass in the order that defined from top to bottom with the default value. Then new keyword must ask this constructor to initialize, right? Then tell me, new keyword calling D class constructor. Tell me, in every constructor, what is the first statement? Super. Because of super call, super class, C class constructor called. In a super class constructor, super call will call A class constructor, sorry, B class constructor. B class constructor super call will call A class constructor. A class constructor super keyword will call object class constructor, like this. New keyword call D class constructor by giving current class object 1010 and it's stored in the this keyword. Then D class constructor with the help of super keyword calling C class constructor by passing the same object reference 1010, B class, A class, object class. Then in object class, there is no logic in the constructor, then come back. Then in A class constructor, after super call, non-static variable initialization, non-static block and constructor logic executed. Then control come to B class. B class non-static variable, B class non-static blocks, B class constructor logic executed. Same way A class and then come to D class. From the D class, control come back to new keyword. The new keyword return the reference in D1 variable point. Understand how the subclass object structure going on? Non-static members executed with the superclass and subclass. So what is the subclass object structure? A subclass object contain its own class members memory plus parent class members memory plus grandparent class members memory up to java.lang.object class. Okay, fine. Now I want you to write this notes part. Non-static members execution flow with inheritance. CC means child class, PC means parent class, DV means default value. Try to use your brain here. Current context is what? Current context is parent class, child class. PC means parent class, CC means child class. Why you people don't like to use your brain? I don't know. Why that much lazy fellows you are? Apply the context here. NSV means non-static variables. NSB means non-static blocks. Apply NSB means non-static blocks. Try to allow your brain to think. Don't make your brain dummy brain. MM means main method. REF means reference. Var means variable. Huh? Completed? Huh? Yeah, that's all for today class. Tomorrow we will start class at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. we will have class, topic garbage collection. It takes minimum 4 hours. And if you are slow learners, then 1 more hour it will take. Around 5 hours it will take, and half an hour tiffin break. Okay, now 8 to 9:30 I'll take class, 9:30 to 10 I'll give tiffin break, and 10 to 1 we will continue class. Okay, now. So tomorrow we'll complete garbage collection. Don't miss tomorrow class. Thank you. That's all for today class. Meet you tomorrow. And continuation inheritance will end on Monday class. Everyone completed? Pooja, are you there? Pooja.